Mark, hello.
Hey, Nick. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, how's it going?
It's the new year, the new life. The Chinese lunar year is just about to start next week, but we're already in 2025. A lot of things are happening, just like always. And sometimes there's a resistance to change. And perhaps this is something we can talk about today, how to get your mindset in the best optimal position so you can succeed.
Absolutely. Mindset. Mindset's everything. A lot of times it's used as a buzzword, but our mindset is so crucial and critical for our daily life. You know, how we experience the world depends on our mindset. And, as we're looking at accepting changes in 2025, mindset is crucial. Mark, what would you say to those who may want to have a paradigm shift with their mindset? They want to go from one way of thinking to another.
It's going to take sacrifice. It's going to take change. And you know what I know, Nick, working with a mentor prior to 2020, he said, everybody hates change, but people are much more receptive to a transition. And that stuck with me. People may hate change, but they welcome the transition. It's a interesting concept. So, um, if there's a change coming in your life or it is already here, accept it, embrace it.
That's it. Norman Vincent Peale said, change your thoughts and you change your world. Eh, I don't think that, you know, there could be anything more true that because what we think about, we bring about. What would you say to that, Mark?
Yeah, I agree with that. Even if you are, for example, if you are looking to improve your professional standing or you operate in the business and you're thinking, well, I've been working in this business for 5 years, I achieved some success, but how come this person is here or this person seems to be scaling up their business? And you think, um, I want to repeat that. What do I need to do? What kind of mindset shifts do I need to change? Because if you are thinking the same way, you'll be staying the same way. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want more, you have to accept that your worldview may not be the same. As you know, we're both in business and we're helping entrepreneurs and coaches and speakers move along their professional path. And there's a lot of different people from around the world, and I interact with them, just have this privilege to do that. And there's, for example, people from Asia or South Pacific or North America or South America, and there's different cultural norms. And when you are stuck in one way of thinking, sometimes the reason you're not moving forward because you think this is it, the worldview is limited. It is not. There's always somebody who is doing things a little bit different, having just a little bit more elbow grease or just a little bit different um, limitations have been lifted. So stay open. Don't just stay stuck in one place. And I believe in that.
Absolutely, not staying stagnant, not staying stuck is crucial. And I think that comes through discovery. It comes through being open, and realizing that maybe our way, because a lot of people say it's just how I am. This is if you want to be my friend, what you see is what you get. That's kind of scary to me because that shows that they are resistant to change and resistant to becoming the best version of themselves. Often we find ourselves surrounded by so many different personality types. And I believe each personality type, each person can be better than they were the day before. I don't believe we ever truly arrive. And it's important for us to be cognizant that we can learn from this person and that person. And, if we're open. And I think that that comes with wanting the best for ourselves as well as the best for others is it's just being open and accepting people how they are, and but encouraging them to go beyond that.
Yeah, yeah. And also in this process, because everyone is different and perceives the reality different, we may have conflict, or we may have misunderstandings, or we may have tension.
Yes.
And lack of misunderstandings and tension means that you're not interacting with anyone, not doing anything, and not making mistakes. I remember working and being part of this. I'm gonna tell some names. I'm gonna spill the tea. Spill the tea.
Do it.
Not the one in
Do
my
it.
cup, but
Yes.
it's the thing. It's the thing. And so I was part of this business incubator many years ago, and it's a local business incubator, had some good sponsors, and it was doing good things in the community, bringing people together. And but I was excited to be part of it. It was something new. There's energy, right, when you around people who are makers, who are creators. There's this excitement, right? You want to be around this kind of people. You want to compare notes, or perhaps collaborate or learn from, or even work with, right? And I remember that such a silly thing. There was I, there was a conflict in the leadership of this incubator, in the way they treated their members, and it was so bizarre to me. Like, I'm coming to help, I'm here to offer my diversity, different contribution, and the leader of that incubator walked the path in the halls of that place, and didn't even say hello to the people, ignored them, was creating all kind of crazy things. We were asking ourselves, like, why this person not even saying hello, or or picking favorites, or playing politics. And that left such a bad taste in my mouth. And luckily that person was removed. Was
Yes.
removed from that position, not because of somebody removed them, but because supposedly a family move. A spouse got a job at a different place, so they had to move. And I thought that was such a horrible, horrible way to treat your members. Just not acknowledging them, discarding them, just judging them, minimizing them. But the thing is, sometimes you have to look past all of the tension and past this conflicts, and stay remained and focused on your goal. How one TEDx speaker said, keep your eyes on the prize. There will be critics, there will be haters, there will be people who
Yes.
don't accept you. You wish them well, you bless them, and you wish them well, because you have other things to achieve. Yes, it is not pleasant. So if you're doing something of value in your life, expect it. And if you are not doing anything, you just go with the flow. But if you are making something of yourself, you will have challenges. And when you do, embrace them, because work through them so you can get to the next level.
That's it. And working through them. We talked about mindset a moment ago, Mark. I want to ask, what are or how do you stay positive when things aren't going your way? How can we intentionally stay positive when things are not going our way?
As you know, in the past, I battled addiction, cigarettes and alcohol addiction, and just I have an OCD, or some kind of other. It's not, it's self-diagnosed, so it's not official. So it's one of those
Good inside
diagonal.
joke there, right?
Yeah. So it's a self it's a self-diagnosed. I can't believe you, Nick. anyway, so how do you stay positive? So
Yeah.
once you eliminate all of those distractions or all of those stimulants, what do you have left? You have your faith. You have
Yes.
your faith. You have your rituals, your meditation, your just the way that you occupy space, and just do the best that you can, and also stay around with positive people. We need to have positive people in our lives, because if there are people who don't match your frequency, your energy, sometimes you just will sacrifice your own life to make somebody else feel happy. And is that a way to live?
It's for many years I thought it was, but it's not. Our we don't have to give ourselves the back seat, as it were, to other people and their happiness, because at the end, there are people in life that we encounter that they will always be unhappy, regardless if all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, and they have, Publishers Clearinghouse coming with a big cardboard check. They're going to say, well, I don't like the way the check looked. It could have been a little bigger, you know, and that's their mindset, unfortunately. But as we think about mindset, what are shifts we can make right now today that can improve our lives? What is something we can do right now with intention to change our life? And
So, are you going to tell us?
no,
Or should I?
I'm asking. I want you to share with us a few things that maybe come to your mind when I ask that question.
Well, one thing to remember is do a reframe. Do a reframe. Allow yourself rise above the situation. Rise above the
Yeah.
situation, and think: is this the end? Is this what I worked for? Is this where I'm going? Is there another way I can reframe this? Is there another way I can shift this view? If yes, what is that view? Um, can I d- um, can I document it? Can I share it with others? Can I sit with it? I think reframe is a great way. Is a great way to move on, to move forward.
Absolutely. And often with that reframe, we're able to leverage those experiences that maybe we don't like to revisit, those memories that maybe we consider bad. We're able to leverage the most difficult and daunting times of our lives for something good. And in those moments, I believe that those bad experiences were then teaching moments and opportunities for us to experience life and to be appreciative of the life that we have. And and that's what should inspire us to not only create a growth mindset, but to maintain a growth mindset. How do we stay focused on our goals, on moving forward when we're faced with distractions and setbacks and negativity? How do we do that and maintain our positive attitude and mindset? It's crucial for us to tap into ourselves, because what works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for Joe down the street. And that's in knowing ourselves, both our intrinsic motivation, our or motivators rather, as well as what gives us that feeling of contentment and satisfaction. Knowing, yes, feelings, they're temporary, but it's good to feel appreciated. It's good to feel like that the future is limitless and that you're not defined by your past mistakes or victories. Because here's the thing, even if you have been ultimately successful to this point, January 24th, 25, you know, this is. your opportunity today to reinvent yourself again, to do a new thing, to go even higher than you've gone before. If you've plateaued in your success, in your personal life, in your finances, or on social media, wherever it is that you're wanting to experience growth without setting a goal, without being intentional about the direction of your future, it's going to happen how it happens without any predictability, without any routine, without any measurable goals, without any measurable results. And so I encourage you today to look inwardly and ask what motivates me, what makes me excited about life, to be alive on January 24th, 2025. What can I appreciate right now? And when we begin asking ourselves those questions, and again, writing in a journal, um, our victories, maybe our defeats.
Hmm.
Once again, it's in those times where it's like our ducks won't all line up in a row, but they scatter, they squawk, and they go everywhere. It's in those times that we are able to find out who we really are. So, what's the biggest lesson you've learned from change in the past year, Mark?
Um, you know, trust your intuition and
Mm,
don't settle back for what you believe in. It will not always be easy, but it will always be worth it.
it will not always be easy, but it will always be worth it. Powerful words, but they're true.
I think
And
we're on some kind of I don't know what it is, just a special inspiration today. You have shared some words of wisdom, like you always do, and I
oh,
appreciate it.
yeah, and I appreciate you, Mark. Um, I I guess as we're closing today, I've got two more things to ask you. What would you do differently, Mark, throughout your life today, last year, whatever? You can quantify the time, but what would you do differently if you knew failure wasn't an option?
You know, I do think about this quite often. And let's say I reflect back on 2 years ago or a year ago, and I was just
Hmm.
afraid, or 3 years ago, I was afraid to do this or that. And now I realized that was such a silly thing to be afraid. That was such a silly thing. So what? So what? And if you are watching us and you think, well, I'm afraid what these people will think, so what? People will think. I'm afraid will people stop thinking? So what? They will stop thinking. How does it affect you? And that's what I would just say. I wish I had the courage to do things I wanted and not to be too careful. And I think that's the lesson I want to take into this year as well, is not to be afraid, not to be afraid. And if you're watching us, don't be afraid. Are those fears, are they real? Are they, maybe they're outdated? Maybe they no longer um, correspond with your reality. So ask yourself, don't be so quick to say yes or no, but give yourself the time. Maybe these fears are outdated and no longer applicable to where you are. And are they even justified?
That's it. You know, wonderfully motivating since we talk about faith all the time. And Charles Darwin said, it's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. Change is hard. It's so difficult for us as humans who are creatures of habit to want to change. And I think many of us would rather the world change around us to fit our own mold, but that's not going to happen. We must create our realities. And once our mindsets begin to change, everything outside will change along with it. The way you experience the world, once again, is because of your mindset. Socrates said, the unexamined life is not worth living. The unexamined life is not worth living. So today, evaluate where you are, where you want to be. And maybe you need to develop a new skill. Maybe it's time for you to take a course. What are you willing to do? Which skills, which habits are you willing to embrace today to affect the change you want to see in yourself this time next year? Mark and I'll be here this time next year. You hopefully will as well. And what are you willing to do to move forward with trajectory, with momentum, and with contentment? It's not worth it if you're just getting skills and certificates and degrees to show people you can do it. It's worth it if it helps you become the person you want to be. Don't do anything to prove a point. Don't do anything just to show them. Instead, live your best life. If you want to get back at someone, the best revenge is for them to see you happy. If you want to leave a legacy, the way you do that is through self discipline, daily habits that others aren't willing to do, and by being positive, even when the world around you may be sour. So,
Hmm.
today, where are you craving change? And what's one small thing you could enact today that will create a big impact over time? Maybe leave that in the chat for us today as we talk about changing and accepting changes in 2025. Mark, it is always a pleasure to see you. I value you. I appreciate you. And I'm so glad that we walk this path of encouragement together. Thank you for helping my mindset. And next week I will be at TEDx Eustis again. Yeah, isn't that fun?
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Meeting so many people that have been part of the TED community. And I'm looking forward to presenting once again. I've composed a piece for that event, and I'm going to be teaching people to play an instrument I don't play, the boom whackers. So between now
Oh,
and next week, I want you to look up what the boom whackers are. And if you're going to be part of that group of people who are willing to step out of their comfort zone and try something new with me next week, I want to say welcome and thank you. I can't wait to see you, and we're going to have a blast during our time together in the discovery session for the first ever TEDx Eustis Orchestra.
it's incredible. You're just such a inspiration, my friend.
Oh, I think you're an inspiration. Thank you so much, Mark. And we will see you all next week. We'll be a little bit earlier, hopefully, next week for that as we navigate the TEDx Eustace schedule. But you and I will. We will still be here on all our platforms. We're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram. And wherever you are today, know that you matter. Your journey matters. Your thoughts. How do you experience the world? If you don't like the way you're experiencing the world right now, do something different. Reach out to Mark and I. We'll be glad to help you. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, everyone.